Welcome to part 2 of What If Naruto was seriously trained by Jiraiya for the Chunin exams and he awakened a rare Uzumaki bloodline. Please don't forget to like and subscribe as it motivates me to upload more videos in the future, and as always link to the fanfiction is in the description. 2 days have passed since Naruto and Jiraiya found Tsunade, and to Naruto it was fun. He bonded with Tsunade over the past 2 days and they were instantly like mother and son. She told him how to talk to women better with the help of Jiraiya and Shizune. He was able to talk to girls now without feeling awkward and even met a few that were his age while walking around the town. Of course he was a natural at charming women, and Jiraiya even bribed him with a jutsu to help him score some women at the brothel house. The result of this was Tsunade beating Jiraiya within an inch of death once she found out. Another thing he found out was Tsunade had an extreme case of hemophobia. He came back to the hotel one day after training and asked Tsunade to heal some of his wounds, and she froze at the sight of his blood. Shizune explained the reasons why she's afraid of blood due to the loss of her lover Dan and her little brother Naoki. Naruto, being the lovable person that he is, came up with a plan to help Tsunade get over her fear of blood. Flashback. Naruto, what's on your mind? Shizune asked. Granny Tsunade's fear of blood. It's a weakness that can easily be exposed during a fight and I don't want that to happen to her. Naruto said. I understand, but these things take time to get over. Shizune said. It's been nearly 30 years. She's had more than enough time to get over it. Naruto said. Well, some people take more time than others. Shizune said. What if I'm in danger and her fear of blood prevents her from saving me? Wait a minute, I got it. Naruto said. What? Shizune asked. We'll use me to get her over her fear of blood. Naruto said. How exactly are we going to do that? You have the 9 tails inside of you and it heals any major wounds. Shizune said. Then we'll use a blood clone. We can give it an injury that only she can heal and it will force her to get over her hemophobia. I doubt she'd want to lose her only family member left, so I'm positive she'll ignore the blood and save the clone. Naruto said. That's a brilliant idea. Do you know how to use the blood clone jutsu? Shizune asked. Yeah, I just need to draw blood and then do 2 quick hand signs for it. Naruto said. We need an injury that's too severe for me to heal, but not too severe that it will destroy the clone. Lady Tsunade personally trained me, so there isn't much that I can't heal. Shizune said. Do you operate near the heart? Naruto asked. No, I've never been in a situation that required surgery near the heart. Oh, I see what you plan on doing. Shizune said. After we make the clone, stab the clone in the chest, but have it barely scrape the heart and rush the clone to Tsunade. She'll either have to let me die or get over her fear of blood and heal me. Naruto said. Do we tell Master Jiraiya the plan? Shizune asked. No, pervy sage should be kept in the dark about this. We need his reaction to be legit. Naruto said. We need a backstory for the injury. Shizune said. Tell her Kabuto attacked me while I was training. Use your chakra scalpels to do damage around the clone's body and then stab the clone in the chest with a kunai. Naruto said. It's almost scary how well thought this plan is. Shizune said, and Naruto just shrugged. Few hours later. Lady Tsunade. I need your help. Shizune yelled as she burst into their hotel room. What is it? Tsunade asked. It's Naruto. Kabuto attacked him while he was training. Shizune yelled and laid the clone on the bed. Then heal him. Tsunade said. I can't. I've never done anything near the heart. He was hit by chakra scalpels and then stabbed near the heart. He's bleeding everywhere. Shizune said. Hey, what's with all the noise? Jiraiya asked as he came into the room. Kabuto attacked Naruto and I can't operate around the heart. Shizune said. What? Tsunade, you have to do something. Jiraiya said. I can't. Tsunade said, frozen to where she was standing. Lady Tsunade, please. Shizune said. I can't. Tsunade said. Damn it, Tsunade. Get your ass over here and save my godson. Jiraiya said, and Tsunade shook her head. It's okay, pervy sage. We all have to die sometime, right? The clone asked and coughed up blood. Damn it, Tsunade. Get your ass over here. Jiraiya yelled. He's losing too much blood. He won't make it much longer. Shizune said, trying her best, and Jiraiya had enough, so he dragged Tsunade over to Naruto's body. Look at this. I can't believe you're willing to let your godson die. You're a disgrace to the medical corps. Jiraiya said and stormed out of the room. Lady Tsunade, please help him. I thought you didn't want to lose any more family members. Shizune said. I can't. Tsunade said, and then the clone stopped breathing, so Shizune moved away from the body with blood on her hands. I hope you're happy. Shizune said and placed a blanket over the clone's body. Naruto. Tsunade said and hoped it was a lie, but got no response. It's over, Lady Tsunade. I'll go tell Master Jiraiya what happened. Shizune said and left the room. Naruto, please wake up. Tsunade said. She didn't get an answer, so she hesitantly went over to the body, pulled the blanket back and checked for a pulse. It was faint, but still there, so she slowly got to work and had to catch herself from stopping. The pulse grew stronger after a while, and now the hard part came. She had to remove the kunai and be prepared for the blood to shoot out. She got herself together, and once the kunai was out, she was sprayed with blood, but didn't let that stop her. It took some time and a few close calls, but she finally healed him. That's when Tsunade heard the door open, revealing Shizune, Jiraiya and Naruto. Tsunade was confused as Naruto was just dying until she saved his life. Naruto. But how? You were just dying. Tsunade said. It was a blood clone, Lady Tsunade. Naruto wanted to help you get over your hemophobia, so me and him came up with this plan. Seems like it worked since you're covered in blood and you aren't freaking out. Shizune said, and then Tsunade realized she was actually covered in blood. Was Jiraiya in on it as well? Tsunade asked. I just found out right before we came in the room. Jiraiya said. By the look of it, Lady Tsunade, you aren't scared of blood anymore. You're covered in it and you aren't panicking. Shizune said, and then Tsunade realized that Shizune was telling the truth. Wait, so Kabuto didn't attack you? Tsunade asked. Nope. Him and Orochimaru are most likely hiding until you give them your answer. Now, it's time to train. Naruto said. Oh yeah, you still have to master the Rasengan. Jiraiya said. I've got a few clones working on that. This training is for Granny Tsunade. Naruto said, and Tsunade's eye twitched. Will it kill him to stop calling me that? Tsunade thought. Train her for what? Shizune asked. To fight. It's clear that she's rusty, and since she's family I don't want anything happening to her. We can have a fight between the two of us. Naruto said. You do realize she's one of the legendary Sannin, right? Jiraiya asked. One of the legendary Sannin who hasn't trained since before I was born. I should be able to get her back in shape. I mean, of course she's stronger than me, but I should be able to handle it due to my stamina and her current lack of training. Naruto said. Alright, Naruto. If you want to fight, then I accept. First, get out so I can get this blood off of me. Tsunade said. Yeah, Naruto. You're too young to see this. Jiraiya said and started to giggle perversely. Oh, but it's okay for you to have a picture of her with her boobs basically popping out of her shirt all the time. What are you gonna do with the picture, pervy sage? Gonna rub one out later with it? Naruto asked. What picture? Tsunade said and glared at Jiraiya, who was sweating bullets. This one. Naruto said and took the picture from Jiraiya as he tried to get rid of it. Oh my. Shizune said as she looked at it. See, your nipples are basically showing. This is what he showed me to track you down since I didn't know what you looked like. Naruto said. Shizune, take Naruto to the forest to prepare. Me and Jiraiya need to have a talk. Tsunade said sweetly and started to crack her knuckles. Yes ma'am. Shizune said and quickly left with Naruto. So, you were peeping on me again, huh? You remember what happened last time, don't you? Tsunade asked sweetly and Jiraiya quickly nodded. Please, have mercy. Jiraiya said. I'm all out of mercy. Tsunade yelled and Jiraiya could be heard screaming for miles. Flashback end. The result of Naruto training with Tsunade was him of course losing, but it was fun. Shizune decided to join in and use her medical knowledge to fight Tsunade since Kabuto was there as well. Jiraiya watched on, covered in lumps and bruises since Tsunade only gave him the bare minimum treatment to recover. Tsunade had to admit that Naruto was pretty good for his age and couldn't believe that he only got like this after a month of training. However, Tsunade surprised Jiraiya and Naruto when she used the famous wood style to restrain Naruto after he accidentally started to use the Nine Tails chakra during the fight and started going on a rampage. When Jiraiya asked about it, she simply told him that she's always been able to do it since she was a kid, and that was another reason she was around Hashirama so much. She was trained a bit to use wood style by Hashirama himself once he found out that she had it, but she kept it a secret. After the fight was over, Tsunade was feeling like her old self again since she was taking on Shizune, who could probably take on an Anbu member since she didn't slack off in her training over the years, and then Naruto, who was bordering low Jonin level right now. Add in the fact that they fought for over 10 hours non-stop and you could see Tsunade reverting back to her old self. Her water, lightning and earth chakra natures were a good test for Naruto's water, wind and fire chakra natures. Naruto accidentally disrupted her genjutsu during the fight and Tsunade was pissed. That's when things got difficult since she looked to be going for the kill shot. Naruto didn't understand, and neither did Jiraiya since she looked the same except with bags under eyes and one gray hair. Shizune was also confused since Tsunade told her she looked like a wrinkly old prune underneath her genjutsu, but she clearly didn't. After the spar was finished, they went back to the hotel, and when everyone was healed, they started to discuss the plan. So, pervy sage, Naruto said, and Jiraiya interrupted him. Stop calling me that, Jiraiya said, and Naruto just ignored him. After we deal with Kabuto and Orochimaru, what do we do after that? Naruto asked. We head back to the Leaf Village. Jiraiya said. Ah, come on, can't we stay here for a few more days? Naruto asked. Nope. We need to get back to the village so Tsunade can take over as Hokage. Jiraiya said. Fine, spoil sport, Naruto said and pouted, which made Shizune giggle. Ah, come on, pervy sage. Can't we stay a bit longer? Tsunade asked, and Jiraiya's eyes started to twitch. No, Jiraiya said. Fine, I heard the next town was opening a brand new hot springs for women only. I guess we'll be missing that as well, Tsunade said and smirked as Jiraiya froze in place. Now for the final piece. Naruto thought and looked at Tsunade, who nodded. I heard they have a contest for one lucky guy to also share the hot springs with them. It's only for one day. Can you imagine the women there? All naked and wet. It's too bad we're headed straight to Konoha after this. Looks like that book of yours won't have any good scenes in it, Naruto said, and Jiraiya looked at them with blood coming from his nose. Well, I suppose we could stop for a day or two. There's no harm in that. I'm going to the bar, Jiraiya said and quickly left. He's gonna be so disappointed, Tsunade said. Why? I thought he was a pervert and would love this, Shizune said. It is a new hot spring for women only, but it's for elderly women with saggy skin and boobs that touch their knees, Naruto said, and Shizune finally got it. Oh, I see. Then why do you want to stop at the next town? Shizune asked. Because Granny Tsunade is going to pay off her debts with the money she won at the gambling machines, Naruto said, and Tsunade sighed. Will you not call me that, please? Tsunade asked. Call you what, Granny Tsunade? Naruto asked, and she sighed again. Never mind. Listen, I'll start off attacking Kabuto, and once we get to an open space, the three of you are to appear. Both of you will take on Kabuto and I'll handle Orochimaru. Jiraiya probably won't be in any shape to fight tomorrow, or he will barely be healthy enough, so after you're done with Kabuto, help me out. I'm still a bit rusty, Tsunade said. Good. I want to get Orochimaru back for what he did to me in the Chunin exams, Naruto said. That's easier said than done, Shizune said. I know, Naruto said. Let's call it a day, Tsunade said. Next day. Well, what's your answer? Orochimaru asked. Hurry up. Lord Orochimaru doesn't have all day, Kabuto said. I'm not healing your arms. I'd rather kill you, Tsunade said, and Orochimaru chuckled. Kabuto, take care of this for me, Orochimaru said. Before Kabuto could move, they had to jump out of the way as Tsunade came crashing down on them with her leg high up in the air and then destroyed the ground where they were standing. Come on, Orochimaru, Tsunade said. It's amazing that after all these years of knowing each other, we've never actually met in combat, Orochimaru said. That's right, Tsunade said, running at them. Don't get your hopes up. You still have to go through me, Kabuto said. It'll be a pleasure killing you both right now, Tsunade said, and destroyed the wall they were standing on, forcing them to jump away. She hasn't lost any of her strength. I won't go well for you if she ever connects, Orochimaru said. I can see that. It's too cramped here, I can't fight in this kind of area. Kabuto said. A change of scenery? Orochimaru asked. Yes, I think a change would be wise. Don't forget she still has her assistant and then Lord Jiraiya is here as well. No doubt he heard the commotion and is already on his way. Kabuto said and then they hopped away. Perfect. Tsunade thought and gave chase. Open field. Why are you running? I thought you wanted a fight. Tsunade said. With Jiraiya around, a change of scenery was best for us. It's time to end this now. Orochimaru said as Kabuto jumped away from one of Tsunade's punches. Taijutsu was never my forte, but I can handle her. It's clear that she hasn't been training for this entire time. Kabuto said, but then had one of Tsunade's fists buried in his gut and he felt like every bone in his body was broken. What's that about not training? Tsunade asked. Seems you've had us fooled. Orochimaru said. It's not hard. Tsunade said and Kabuto healed himself before trying to attack her with his chakra scalpels, but Tsunade easily avoided him. Damn it. She's toying with me and it looks like she's not even trying right now. Were the reports wrong about her not training? No, they couldn't have been. We've had our best men on it and they never give information unless they're 100% sure. Time for plan B. Every shinobi has a weakness and I just happen to know hers. Kabuto thought. Let's see how you fare against this. Kabuto said and cut his hand then threw his blood onto Tsunade. Nice try. Tsunade said and kicked him away. Something isn't right here. It's a well-known fact that she's afraid of blood. Orochimaru thought, as he watched Kabuto stand up and eat a plasma pill. Kabuto, I will assist you. It seems the reports on her were wrong. Orochimaru said, if you insist. Even without your arms she's no match for us. Kabuto said and then a puff of smoke happened. Well, it sure took you all long enough. Tsunade said. Blame pervy sage. We had to go look for him and we found him drunk at a bar. He's barely able to fight properly. Naruto said. I'm fine, Naruto. Jiraiya said. Lady Tsunade, are you alright? There's blood on you. Shizune said. It's not my blood. You two can take on Kabuto. Me and Jiraiya can handle Orochimaru. Tsunade said. Isn't this interesting? All three of the legendary Sannin together again. Who would have thought a day like this would happen? Orochimaru said. The Nine-Tails Jinchuriki will be a problem. I can't kill him because then they'll come after me and I'd rather not deal with that organization again. However, his dojutsu interests me. I'll have to figure out a way to get that boy on my side. Orochimaru thought. Well, I guess I can handle Kabuto. Naruto said. I wouldn't underestimate me if I were you, Naruto. I'm as strong as Kakashi. Kabuto said. Yeah. Congratulations. Are we gonna fight or not? Naruto asked. Naruto, follow my lead. I'm the strongest between the two of us and I have experience. Plus, I can tell he specializes in medical ninjutsu, so I should be able to counteract him. Shizune said. Didn't you tell me that medical ninjas are supposed to hang in the back during a fight? Maybe I should take the lead on this one. Naruto said. No, Shizune is right. She should lead because he can use chakra scalpels to fight and so can she. They'll cancel each other out. Tsunade said. Fine, lead the way. Naruto said. Naruto and Shizune vs Kabuto. Kabuto immediately summoned a snake to assist Orochimaru in his fight and then activated his chakra scalpels. Shizune activated her own chakra scalpels and attacked Kabuto. It was clear from the start that Shizune was better at close quarters combat, but Kabuto was no slouch. He managed to cut the tendons in her right leg, but she also cut the muscle tissue in his arms. Shizune ducked when Kabuto swiped at her head and kicked him in the gut with her good leg, and before Kabuto could cut another tendon in her leg, Naruto used the great breakthrough and sent Kabuto flying backwards into a boulder. Thanks for the save. I just need a few minutes to recover. Shizune said. I can handle him from here. I've seen how he fights. Naruto said. You shouldn't take him lightly. Shizune said. I won't. Naruto said. Naruto Uzumaki. I hope you don't think you can beat me. Kabuto said arrogantly. Anyone can lose on any given day. Naruto said. If you can't defeat Sasuke then you're not even close to being able to defeat me. I'll admit that Shizune has a chance, but you on the other hand have no chance at all. Kabuto said. Trying to use Sasuke as bait to make me angry won't work. I'm looking past Sasuke now. My new goal is to surpass my sensei and then the 4th Hokage. Let me know when Sasuke defeats a tailed beast and then we'll be getting somewhere. Until then, shut the hell up and fight me. Oh wait, do you need Orochimaru's permission to fight me? Seems you can't do anything without him telling you to do it. Naruto said, you should watch what you say. Kabuto said, how does it feel working for somebody so weak? I guess we know who the weakest Sannin is. He lost to an old man while he had Hashirama and Tobirama Senju on his side. If that's who you take your orders from, then I guess you're just as weak as he is. Naruto said, shut up. Kabuto said, too easy. Naruto thought. Kabuto charged in at Naruto full of rage for disrespecting Orochimaru and never noticed the smirk on Naruto's face. Kabuto started swinging wildly with his chakra scalpels activated, and each time he swung, it would go right through Naruto. However, every time Naruto attacked it managed to connect, and that just enraged Kabuto even more. What he didn't know was that Naruto was using the Shunshin at incredible speeds, creating after images of himself, but they were all able to attack him. I've had enough. Kabuto yelled. He was about to attack, but then Shizune used her poison mist on him, but Kabuto held his breath as the poison surrounded him so he wouldn't breath it in. Naruto tapped his arm as a signal to Shizune to use her poison needles. She shot her poison needles towards the poison mist and Naruto used his Gale Palm Jutsu to speed them up a bit. They heard Kabuto groan as the needles managed to hit him and smirked. What do your poison needles do? Naruto asked. They'll leave him near death, but since he's a medical ninja, he'll most likely slow the poison down to try and keep fighting. If he was smart he would leave and try to find a cure, but since you've managed to enrage him, I don't think he'll do that. Shizune said, and the smoke cleared revealing Kabuto with 3 needles in his arm. Damn it, I fell for a simple trick and now I'm poisoned. Kabuto thought. Summoning Jutsu. Everyone looked over and saw Tsunade summon a giant slug. Orochimaru was about to ask for help, but Jiraiya came at him with some taijutsu and Orochimaru was able to dodge some of them, but not all of the attacks. He jumped back onto his snake summons and Jiraiya also went through hand signs. Summoning Jutsu. What's up? Gamakichi asked. What the? Why are you here? Where the hell is your father? Jiraiya asked. Long time no see, huh? Gamakichi asked. Of course. Leave it to the world's greatest pervert to have performance issues during a big moment. Naruto said, and Shizune giggled. Well, Jiraiya. Still playing the fool, I see. You always were ridiculous, but this time you've outdone yourself. Orochimaru said. Summoning Jutsu. What is it now? Gamabunta asked as Naruto summoned him. Pervy Sage is having performance issues and summoned Gamakichi. Naruto said. Leave it to the pervert to have performance issues during a big moment. Gamabunta said, and even Tsunade laughed at him. There's no respect. Jiraiya thought. I know it isn't the boss summons, but can you take out that giant snake for us? Pervy Sage decided to get drunk last night and now he can't properly use his chakra. Naruto said. It depends. Will there be more barrels of sake as payment for wasting my time on such a weak summons? Gamabunta asked. You'll have to wait until we get back to the village, but yeah, I can get you some. Naruto said. I knew I'd like you, kid. Gamakichi, head back home. Gamabunta said. Sure thing, pops. Gamakichi said and left. Kabuto. Summon Manda. Now. Orochimaru. Said. I'm on it. Kabuto said, and Orochimaru noticed he could barely stand. What happened to him? Orochimaru thought. Rasengan. Everyone looked at Naruto, who appeared in front of Kabuto and shoved a Rasengan into his gut, making him yell out in pain as the jutsu grinded into his stomach. Before Kabuto was launched away, he activated his chakra scalpel and cut Naruto's heart muscles. Kabuto was out cold and nearly dead, as was Naruto. Tsunade quickly rushed to his side and started to heal him before he could die. Orochimaru took this time to grab Kabuto and quickly left. Come on, Naruto. Stay with me, Tsunade said as she was healing him, and then a hand grabbed her necklace. I win, Granny Tsunade. Naruto said with a weak smile and passed out. Naruto. Tsunade said. Don't worry, Lady Tsunade. He's fine. Shizune said. Let's get him back to the hotel. Tsunade said. What about Orochimaru and Kabuto? Shizune asked. They're gone already. Jiraiya said. Konoha -3 days later. So, Granny Tsunade. What are you going to do now? Naruto asked as they were walking through the village under a henge so she wouldn't be recognized. Well, I have to meet with the village elders before I'm officially announced as Hokage and then I'm headed over to the hospital. Tsunade said. Why are you going there? Naruto asked. That Rock Lee kid you told me about is still in the hospital and I want to see if I can properly heal him while saving his ninja career. Plus Kakashi and your teammate Sasuke are in the hospital as well. Tsunade said. Oh yeah, I forgot about them. Why am I escorting you around the village? I thought the Hokage would have an assistant or Anbu with them. Naruto said. I can't spend some time with my godson. I've missed a lot over the past 13 years and I want to catch up. Now, Jiraiya tells me you're good friends with the daughter of the fourth Kage. Do you like her? Tsunade asked. No, me and Temari are just friends. She needs a submissive boyfriend and I'm an Uzumaki, so being submissive isn't exactly in my blood. Naruto said. Did you forget that I'm part Uzumaki as well? I know all about how being submissive is the last thing we do. Tsunade said. I forgot about that. I guess the Senju last name throws me off. Naruto said. It's alright. Nowadays most people forget that I'm an Uzumaki. Tsunade said. So we're kind of related. Naruto said. I guess you could say that. Tsunade said as they reached the Hokage Tower. Did the Uzumaki have any kind of abilities other than the Hishigan? Naruto asked. Yes. Members of the Uzumaki clan naturally possess incredibly strong life forces. My grandmother, Mito Uzumaki, was born before Konoha was founded and yet, she lived long into the third Hokage's reign. Usually women stop having the ability to reproduce once they reach a certain age, but Uzumaki women can give birth well after that of normal women. Another trait of the Uzumaki clan was the ability to use their chakra to heal themselves or others. However, using that ability is dangerous if it's used irregularly. Tsunade said. Well, I can't use that ability since I have the Nine Tails chakra flowing inside of me. Naruto said and Tsunade nodded. That's right. Also, some Uzumaki have the ability to use what they called the adamantine chains. The chains were mostly common amongst the women of the clan for some reason. The Uzumaki clan also had a unique sensor ability as well as the ability to suppress their chakra signature so they're undetectable. Tsunade said. Is that how I'm able to sneak around so much? Naruto asked. Most likely. You have so much chakra that you stand out amongst everyone, but from what you've told me so far, if you're able to sneak around undetected then you must have that ability as well. Another thing is that Uzumaki members are well known for fuinjutsu, which you clearly are good at from what I've seen you do. The distinct trait among the Uzumaki clan was their red hair. You however get your hair from your father. Tsunade said. Why don't you have black or red hair? Hashirama had black hair and since Mito was an Uzumaki she had to have red hair. Naruto said. That is something I still haven't figured out myself. I was raised by my grandmother and grandfather. My parents died when I was very young so I never met them. I do know my father was half Uzumaki and half Senju. I don't know about my mother. She must have had some strong dominant genes if I have blonde hair. Tsunade said. Maybe my father had strong genes as well since I'm blonde. Naruto said. He did. I'll tell you this, your father was one of the most powerful ninja to ever live. Some people would compare his strength to that of my grandfather and my grandfather was known as the god of shinobi. Your father never reached his prime before he died, so he was on his way to becoming the strongest ninja ever. Tsunade said. Wow. Do you think you'll be able to surpass him? Naruto asked. Who? Tsunade asked. My dad and the first Hokage. Naruto said and Tsunade smiled. Of course. Tsunade said. What happened to the Uzumaki clan? Why aren't there more of us around? Naruto asked. They were simply destroyed. Kumo, Iwa and Kiri joined forces to wipe them out. The Uzumaki clan's skill with fuinjutsu earned them both respect and fear throughout the ninja world. Our clan may have been wiped out, but they took out half of the opposing enemy's forces as well. There was a rumor that some of the survivors were scattered around the world, but I couldn't find them when I left the village. Unless the survivors did exist and had children, we're the last two Uzumaki clan members alive. Naruto said. Wow. I'm guessing Kumo and Iwa will always have problems with Konoha then. Naruto said. Yeah. Iwa hates us due to the fourth Hokage's efforts during the third ninja war and Kumo was involved in two incidents that involved us. One of them involved your mother and the other involved the Hyuga incident. Tsunade said. What happened with my mother? Naruto asked. I'll tell you that story at a different time. Tsunade said. I'll hold you to it. This is kind of personal and I won't get mad if you don't answer, but did you ever have any kids? Naruto asked and Tsunade had a sad smile on her face. No, but I wish I did. Tsunade said. Why not? Naruto asked. My boyfriend Dan died during the Second Shinobi War and I never had another relationship. I've had the occasional hookup before I left with one person, but I could never date him. Tsunade said. So, you and Pervy Sage, huh? Naruto asked and Tsunade froze. What? Tsunade asked. He talks in his sleep. He kept mumbling about some blonde lady who broke his heart and it made him leave for over 20 years. I just put 2 and 2 together. Naruto said. Keep that to yourself. Tsunade said. Okay. Why not have kids with Pervy Sage? I mean it's obvious he loves you and you must have had some type of feelings for him if you would hook up with him more than once. You said it yourself that you wish you had kids, so why not with him? Naruto asked and they came up to a room where the elders were waiting. Not gonna happen. Now, let's go. The elders are waiting for me. Tsunade said. Why should I go in there? I thought this was a private meeting. Naruto said. You already know what's going on and you're my escort. Shizune should already be in there and I'm technically the Hokage, so I can bring whoever I want. Tsunade said and opened the door then dropped their henge. Lady Tsunade, I'm glad you can join us. However, young Naruto must leave. Elder Homura said. He stays. He knows what is going on and was my escort for the day while I had Shizune working with patients at the hospital. Tsunade said. Very well. Elder Homura said. Are you sure it is wise to have him here? No offense, but he's only a genin. Elder Kaharu said. I'm sure. Tsunade said. This is unacceptable. The boy must be removed. A man with a bandage over one of his eyes said and then looked at Naruto. He stays, Danzo. He'll be on his best behavior. Isn't that right, Naruto? Tsunade asked and then Naruto activated his dojutsu. Will you please deactivate your dojutsu? Homura asked. No. Somebody is trying to control me with a genjutsu and this keeps it from happening. I know who it is, but I'd rather not put the person on blast. So, stop before I kill you. Naruto said and the genjutsu stopped. What kind of eyes are those? To be able to detect and block out the Koto Amatsukami is simply unheard of and impossible. Danzo thought. Very well. We shall allow it. Kaharu said, as she already had felt a genjutsu being used. Before we start, how many people are supposed to be in this room? Naruto asked. Only the 6 of us. Homura said and Naruto threw 4 kunai into each corner of the room revealing 4 dead blank Anbu masked shinobi who quickly went up in fire. It seems somebody doesn't know what a private meeting is. Tsunade said and glanced at Danzo who was visibly angered. Damn it. The Jinchuriki is stronger than I thought. I must leave before he makes it known that it's me. Danzo thought and stood up. Where are you going, Danzo? We still have a meeting to get started. Kaharu said. I must seek out my personal doctor. My missing eye is bothering me. Danzo said and left the room. Now, may we get started? Tsunade asked. Yes. Listen carefully, Tsunade. We must send word to the feudal lord that the 5th Hokage has officially arrived in the village. All the preparations must begin at once for the coronation ceremony. Kaharu said. Can't we just skip the ceremonies? They're such a bore. Tsunade said. Tsunade. Kaharu said. Okay. It comes with the job, I guess. One of the perks of being Hokage. Tsunade said. I'll send 2 Jonin to immediately send word that in a few days from now, we will officially welcome the 5th Hokage. Kaharu said. I understand. Tsunade said. Your grandfather would be proud of you. Homaru said. You've met the 1st Hokage. Naruto asked. Yes. We were students of the 1st and 2nd Hokage along with Hiruzen and Danzo. Kaharu said. Then you must have known Mito Uzumaki. Was she really as great as Granny Tsunade described her to be? Naruto asked. You told him of his heritage? Homura asked. No. Jiraiya told him of his mother and her name. I only told him bits and pieces about his father, but nothing to give away who he is. I figured since he knows he's an Uzumaki that I should give him a bit of a history lesson. Tsunade said. Why not just tell him of his father? You can overrule Hiruzen's law about his parents now that he's dead. Koharu said. What law? Naruto asked. He placed a secret law backed by the civilian council that would prohibit anybody from adopting you and telling you of your lineage. Homura said. Yes. Quite a bit of people wanted to adopt you and they had nothing but good intentions. I believe Makoto Uchiha, who was one of your mother's friends, wanted to adopt you. The Hyuga clan wanted to take you in as well since Hiyashi Hyuga was good friends with your father. A few civilian families wanted to take you in as well since they were also close to your parents. Koharu said. Yes, I believe a few kunoichi wanted to adopt you as well. Enko, but due to her history with Orochimaru, she was rejected and that was when you were about 8. Kurenai Yuhi also wanted to adopt you along with Yugao, Tuki Ikiraku and Sum Inazuka, who is the leader of the Inazuka clan. However, the civilians minus the Ichirakus were mysteriously found dead in their homes a few after they were rejected from adopting you. The same happened with some of the kunoichi who wanted to adopt you. They were poisoned, but we couldn't trace it back to anything. Homura said. Enko wanted to adopt me. She doesn't seem like the parent type. Naruto said. Despite Enko being tough on the outside, she does have a big heart. She saw how you were being treated and she remembered how the village treated her once she was betrayed by Orochimaru and came back to the village. She didn't want you to grow up the same way she did, but Hiruzen rejected her and claimed that you were just fine. He even went as far as to place a squad of Anbu to follow her and make sure she didn't come in contact with you. Homura said. Wait a minute, why would he do that? Shizune asked. Because Hiruzen wanted him as a weapon similar to Danzo. Hiruzen knew about the beatings and you living on the streets for 2 years, but he would sometimes order those mobs to attack you and then play the grandfatherly role to manipulate you to turn you into a weapon. Apparently you were smarter than he thought and you didn't fall for any of his tricks. Koharu said. I always knew there was a reason I didn't trust him anymore. Naruto said. Was he being controlled by a genjutsu? Tsunade asked. No. This was held in a private meeting between us right after Naruto was made into a Jinchuriki. We of course were against it, but he was the Hokage and his decision was final. I was well known for being able to detect genjutsu during my time as a shinobi and Hiruzen was not under any kind of influence. Koharu said. Do not worry though. Enko took care of the mobs after they attacked you. She along with Yugao killed them once Enko was released from Anbu supervision. It was her way of helping you while you were out on the streets. Homura said. Then why does she act like she doesn't know me? Naruto asked. Because Hiruzen had a memory blocking seal placed on her and we couldn't find Jiraiya to remove it for us. Koharu said. I'll remove it then. I've come across that seal during my training with Pervy Sage. Naruto said. I'm sorry. With who? Homura asked. It's Jiraiya. That's what he calls him. Tsunade said. It's funny. Your mother called him the same thing. Koharu said. I guess great minds think alike. Naruto said. If you say so. Tsunade said. Now, I believe you have some patients in the hospital that require your assistance. Is there anything you need before we leave, Lady Tsunade? Koharu asked. No. Tsunade said. I do. When can I get my Chunin vest? Naruto asked. I'm glad you said something. The feudal lord personally promoted you. While you were away he asked for details surrounding the Chunin exams and was very impressed with your involvement. Homura said. Yes. Naruto said. Now, it is with great honor that we promote Naruto Uzumaki to the rank of Chunin. Koharu said and gave him a Chunin vest. Congratulations, Naruto. Shizune said. That just means I'm one step closer to becoming Hokage. Naruto said. You're still a long way from that. Tsunade said. Then you better keep that seat warm for me. Naruto said and took off his hoodie then put on his Chunin vest. We will send word immediately to the feudal lord. Koharu said and left with Homura. Well, looks like we're heading to the hospital. Naruto, you don't have to escort us. Tsunade said. Alright. Naruto and vanished. Dango shop. Enko. Seriously. Will you stop? Your date with Iruka will be just fine. Kurenai said. Yeah, that's easy for you to say. You've been with Asuma for over a year now. Enko said. She's right. You'll be fine. Yugao said. Hello, ladies. Naruto said as he appeared. Hi Naruto. Yugao said. Naruto, I see you're a Chunin now. Kurenai said. Yup. Feudal Lord promoted me himself. I just got back from finding the 5th Hokage with Pervy Sage. Naruto said. Who's this 5th Hokage? Kurenai asked. My godmother. Naruto said. Hey, Iruka wouldn't have told you anything that he likes or dislikes, has he? Enko asked. No, that's not why I'm here. Naruto said. Then why are you here? Yugao asked. I wanted to thank the 3 of you for trying to adopt me when I was younger. Naruto said. You're welcome. How'd you find out? Kurenai asked. Homaru and Kaharu told me. Naruto said. Weren't they the ones who prohibited us from adopting you? Yugao asked. No, it was the 3rd Hokage. He wanted me as a weapon and prevented you and a few clans from adopting me. He even put a seal on Enko to make her forget about her trying to adopt me. Naruto said. Sorry, but I only met you during the Chunin exams, kid. Enko said. Because you have a seal on you. If I'm right, it should be a small seal behind one of your ears. Naruto said. Check behind my ear. If he's lying, then I'll castrate him with a rusty kunai. Enko said, glaring at Naruto, and Yugao checked behind her ears. Yeah, you do have a seal. It's behind your left ear. Yugao said. Then get rid of it. Enko said. I'm not good with seals. Yugao said. Me either. Kurenai said. Great. Only seal master we have is that pervert. Enko said. I can get rid of it. I know Fuinjutsu. Naruto said. Yeah, right. Enko said. I'm a level 7 sealing expert. I was already a level 5 sealing expert before Pervy Sage trained me, and now I'm at level 7. Naruto said. Why should I believe you? Enko asked. It's either I get rid of it or Pervy Sage does it, and he'll most likely have you get naked for it. It's your choice. Naruto said. I'd do it if I were you, Enko. I've known Naruto since he was a kid and I can tell when he's lying. Yugao said. What? I do not lie. Naruto said and looked away. Then why aren't you looking at me? Yugao asked. Because I don't want to. Naruto said. How long will it take you to remove this seal? Enko asked. Not even 5 seconds. Naruto said and went through 3 hand signs before tapping her behind the ear on the seal. It stings a bit. Enko said. It's because I had to override it with my chakra. It's gone now. Naruto said. Yeah, I remember now. I saw you one day get cornered by a mob and they were about to start beating you until I showed up and took you away before they even got their weapons out. I argued with the 3rd Hokage for hours on multiple occasions about adopting you, and he came up with some bullshit excuse that it would make the family too powerful since you're a Jinchuriki. That, and he thought my seal would activate if I was in constant communication with you. After that I don't have any memory of you until the Chunin exams. Enko said. I was told it was because I was too high up in the rankings to adopt you, but when I asked for another child he magically had the paperwork ready. Mind you, I was a Chunin until I was recently promoted a few months before I took a Genin team. Kurenai said. He forced me to stay in Anbu so I wouldn't be able to adopt you. Yugao said. You 3 aren't the only people who tried to adopt me. Naruto said. Who else tried to adopt you? Kurenai asked. Tsuki Ichiraku, Hiyashi Hyuga, Sum Inuzuka, Makoto Uchiha, some kunoichi, and a few civilian families that my parents were friends with and knew about me. He had the civilians and other kunoichi killed a few weeks after they were all rejected from adopting me. They were poisoned. Naruto said. Then why not poison the rest of us? Kurenai asked. You're the Genjutsu mistress, so you probably have good sensor ability and would have trapped whoever was sent to poison you in a Genjutsu. Enko is basically immune to poisons because her past with Orochimaru and Yugao was in the Anbu. Sum Inuzuka would have smelled the poison. Hiyashi Hyuga, from what I know, doesn't take any food or drink that wasn't prepared by the Hyuga servants, and Makoto Uchiha must have been high in the Uchiha clan in order for him to not get rid of her. Naruto said. Makoto was the clan head's wife and she's Sasuke's mother. Yugao said. Then it's a good thing I wasn't adopted by her. Naruto said, and they laughed. So, what are you going to do now? Kurenai asked. Take a few days off. After that, I'll start to train and take some missions. Naruto said. Speaking of training, I want to test my Genjutsu on you. Master Jiraiya said you can't be placed under a Genjutsu while your Dojutsu is active, and I want to try it out. Kurenai said. It's true. While my dojutsu is active I can't be placed under a genjutsu. You can help me though. I'm only able to break out of genjutsu up to C rank. Anything higher and I can't do it. Naruto said. Sure. Just find me when I'm not with my team. Kurenai said. Ever thought about learning kenjutsu? Yugao asked. Yeah, but every time I go look for a sword, none of them seem right for me. Even the custom-made swords don't feel right in my hands. I just decided to stick with kunai. Naruto said. Do you know who your mom is? Yugao asked. Yeah, Kushina Uzumaki. Why? Naruto asked. Because after the Nine Tails attack, I found her sword and kept it so I could give it to you one day. Maybe I can teach you some kenjutsu moves. Yugao said. I'm more of a torturing type of person, so if you need any tips just stop by the T&I building or find me in the Forest of Death. Enko said. Okay. I'll see you all later. Naruto said and walked away. It's honestly surprising how much he looks like Lord Fourth and he hasn't figured it out yet. Enko said. Give him some time. He'll figure it out. Kurenai said. Do you think he'd want us to adopt him now? Yugao asked. I doubt it. He said his godmother was the Hokage, so more than likely she's the one taking care of him now. Enko said. That's just the thing. Who is his godmother? Kurenai asked. I guess we'll find out in a few days. Yugao said, and the Enko saw a piece of paper on the table. What the hell? That sneaky little shit. Enko said as she read the paper. What? Kurenai asked. Read this. Enko said and gave her the paper. Enko, as I removed the seal behind your ear, I looked at the other one on your neck. Give me a few months and I should be able to remove it, Naruto. When did he even look at the curse mark? Kurenai asked. I have no idea. I'll see him in a few months, so if he's lying I'll just castrate him. Enko said. Naruto. Naruto was walking through the village towards the Hokage monument to look at the village like he normally does. It's been a hectic 2 months for him and he needed time to process everything. He found a sensei that will actually teach him something and he just happened to be his godfather. He discovered he had a rare dojutsu, he won the Chunin exams, stopped a tailed beast, made a new friend in Temari, found out the Akatsuki were after him, found his godmother, and most importantly, he found out who his mother was. Finding out about his clan was also something he'd be grateful for. If it wasn't for Tsunade then he'd probably never know any of this. He was thinking so much that he failed to see the crowd of ninja and civilians surrounding him, until he had to dodge a kick. The hell? Naruto said. Demon scum. A random jonin said. I don't know why he's still alive. Another jonin said. Let's do what we used to do when he was a kid. A civilian said. This time we'll make sure he dies. A Chunin said. You know, I think it's time for me to start fighting back. Years of torture and abuse, for what? Something I had no control over. People fear what they do not understand and it makes them act out. If you remove the 9 tails from me and I survive, what does that make me? Am I still the 9 tails or am I a human? What makes my life so invaluable compared to yours? Naruto asked. You're a demon. That's what. A civilian said. A demon, am I? The third Hokage is dead. Do you know what that means? Naruto asked. Do tell us, demon scum. A jonin said. It means that I can fight back without any repercussions. It means I will no longer take the abuse I've suffered at the hands of you assholes. How would you like to meet the 9 tails personally? Naruto asked and lifted his shirt revealing his seal. This is the seal containing the 9 tails. I wonder what would happen if I were to break the seal. Actually I do know what would happen. I'll release the 9 tails and I have a pretty high chance at surviving the extraction process. Naruto said and everyone grew scared. No you can't. The 4th Hokage didn't want the 9 tails to destroy the village. A jonin said. Then why would you all attack me growing up, knowing I contained the 9 tails? Naruto asked. We wanted to finish what the 4th Hokage started. His wishes will be met. A Chunin said. Wrong. His wishes were for me to be seen as a hero for keeping this village safe from the wrath of the 9 tails. You all spat on the wishes of the 4th Hokage. You all are tarnishing his name and he's rolling over in his grave because of all of you. I'm giving you all a warning. Do not attack me again or I'll retaliate and send you to the hospital. Naruto said. You don't scare us. We kill you and we kill the 9 tails. A jonin said and the crowd cheered. Fine. If you want to fight, then bring it. Naruto said, and before anyone could move, two people appeared in front of Naruto. Ah, Naruto. You weren't going to have all the fun without me, were you? Enko asked and pulled out some kunai. I swear some of you shouldn't be a ninja if you can't tell the difference between a container me a tea contains. Kurenai said. So, who wants to attack first? Enko asked and the Tsunade appeared. Everybody stop. Tsunade yelled. It's Lady Tsunade. A Jonin said. Now that she's here, we can kill the demon. A Chunin said and Tsunade just smiled before she punched him away. Anbu. Tsunade said and 20 Anbu appeared. Yes, Lady Tsunade. A wolf-masked Anbu asked. Take all of these civilians and ninja to the T&I building. I want Anko and Ibiki to teach them a lesson. Oh, and every ninja in this crowd are hereby stripped of their shinobi license. Get them out of my sight. Tsunade said and the Anbu took the crowd away. Well, looks like I'm going to have some fun. Enko said and vanished. Lady Tsunade, why are you here? Kurenai asked. Naruto didn't tell you. Tsunade asked. Tell me what? Kurenai asked. Never mind. If he didn't tell you then you'll have to wait. Naruto, come with me. Tsunade said. Okay. Bye again, Kurenai. Naruto said and they vanished. Naruto and Tsunade, Hokage Tower. Were you really about to release the 9 tails? Tsunade asked. No. I just wanted to scare them. Naruto said. Anyway, listen. Since you're a Chunin now, once I'm Hokage I'm going to have to send you out on harder missions. Also, whenever I have to leave the village, you will be part of my escort. It will be me, you, Shizune and 2 Anbu of my choosing. Do you understand? Tsunade asked. Yes, but why me? Naruto asked. You want to be Hokage, right? Tsunade asked. Yes. Naruto said. Then think of this as early training for the position. You're still years away from becoming Hokage, but a head start won't hurt anybody. Tsunade said. I can live with that. Naruto said. Good. Now, Jiraiya had to leave the village to get updates from his spy network, but he left you some ninjutsu and fuinjutsu to work on. He also said to work on your taijutsu and genjutsu skills without your Hishigan activated. Tsunade said as tossed him a scroll. Do you know when he'll be back? Naruto asked. Maybe a few months. You can never know with him. Tsunade said. I guess you're right. Do you know if Asuma is in the village? Naruto asked. Yeah. He's either with his team now or just lounging around the village. Why? Tsunade asked. I need some tips on my wind manipulation. Naruto said. He's the best wind user in the village, so it's good to know that you're seeking him out. Have you started working on your ice keke genkai? Tsunade asked. No. I still can't combine my wind and water chakra natures yet. My wind control is still lacking and that's why I need to find Asuma. Naruto said. When you're ready, come see me. I know about combining chakra natures for a keke genkai, so I can help you out. Tsunade said. I'm getting hungry. Want to grab some ramen with me? Naruto asked. Sure. Along the way you can tell me about the genin in the village. Tsunade said. They left the Hokage Tower and headed towards Ichiraku's while just talking. Naruto asked her questions about her life and in return he told her more about his. Needless to say, Tsunade was not happy with how the village treated her godson throughout his life and almost went on a rampage. She was disappointed when Naruto told her about the current genin. The most disappointing was Sakura and Ino since they were basically fangirls. Civilians and ninja in the street were shocked that Tsunade was back in the village, but that all changed when they saw her walking with Naruto. Some glared at him and one was even bold enough to throw a brick at Naruto, which was easily avoided. Tsunade saw who did it and punched him so hard that he flew through at least 5 buildings before he finally hit the ground. They all got the hint. She was not going to be anything like the third Hokage who let them do what they wanted to him and that she was going to put her foot down. First things first, Tsunade wanted to do a thorough evaluation of the hospital and the ninja academy first. From what Naruto told her and Shizune reported back to her, both were horrible and needed a serious overhaul. Another thing is she was going to look over the civilian council files. If they were doing anything to hurt the village her grandfather built, then they are in for a rude awakening. All in all, Konoha was about to change for the better and it would be a Senju would restore the village to its former glory. It's been a few weeks since Tsunade returned to the village and became Hokage. Needless to say, things were actually doing better since she was in charge. Members of the council who knew she would not be on their side, tried to convince the fire daimyo that she was not fit for the Hokage position. They used her debt as a reason why, but they were quickly shot down when they found out that she paid off all of her debt and didn't owe anybody anything. They brought up her alcohol problem and complained about her drinking on the job, but they were countered when Tsunade told the feudal Lord Hiruzen was always smoking on the job and she knew for a fact that it wasn't cigarettes or tobacco he was smoking. All in all, the fire daimyo approved of Tsunade becoming Hokage and she was crowned that very next day. She went through files thanks to Naruto telling her about the corruption and nearly destroyed the village when she found out how much the civilian council owed in taxes. Every civilian council member except for Mebuki Haruno were all forced to pay the money they owed and were kicked off of the council along with 2 years in jail. Tsunade also had Naruto show her the weak points in the village and needless to say she was surprised that the village hasn't been invaded yet. She gave Naruto an A-rank mission that he could do whenever and all he had to do was prank places with holes in the security until it's basically impossible for him to get through. Tsunade also discovered how terrible the ninja academy was and fired every teacher except for Iruka who was the best teacher they had. She replaced all of the teachers with retired shinobi who wanted the job and the spots were quickly filled. The new ninja academy was now a more practical academy that focused on test simulations and a more hands-on approach rather than the majority of the years being theoretical. The hospital was another big thing on her list. It was horrible to be blunt. Every doctor had to demonstrate what they had to do with Shizune being the one to make sure they were doing it right. She also got new medical supplies since the ones they had were outdated. The medicine was also being taken from the hospital, so Tsunade had a Chunin watching the medicine room and report back to her at the end of each shift about who went in there and what they needed. Before the person could enter, they had to sign on a sheet of paper what they needed, how much they needed and what the patient needed it for. Tsunade promised Naruto that she would fix the red light district since that was the only place he was really treated normally, but she told him that it would take time since she has other things to deal with. When asked what she had in mind, Tsunade told him that she would have to hire people to build new orphanages, a ninja school and a hospital in the red light district. Needless to say that Naruto was ecstatic. The landlord to his apartment building that hated him changed the locks on his apartment while he was out on a mission and missed rent, but it was illegal if a ninja was out on a mission to kick them out for late rent. Naruto decided to be petty and get back at the landlord for years of abuse he's suffered. Naruto went straight to Tsunade and asked to buy his apartment complex since only him and the landlord lived there. The building was surprisingly cheap and well within Naruto's budget. Once the purchase was complete, Naruto went to the landlord and kicked him out of the apartment. The reasons listed were years of abuse, letting people steal his stuff, constantly changing his locks, failure to keep the building up to code and smoking in a non-smoking building. Once the landlord refused, Naruto politely signaled for an Anbu to remove him from the property. Naruto spent the last few weeks having shadow clones fix the apartment and he even expanded his apartment adding an extra room, a bigger bathroom and better appliances. After the building was finished, he gave rooms to homeless people in the red light district and even the women at the brothel houses. He didn't have them pay rent since they looked out for him as much as possible when he was living on the streets and he wouldn't budge. All they had to worry about was their food and everything else. Naruto bought the homeless people their food, but they told him they'd pay him back as soon as they got back on their feet, but Naruto waved them off. Missions were a big problem for Tsunade, mainly the D-rank missions. She changed the rules up and the civilians were not happy. Only the elderly and disabled were allowed to ask for a mission such as dog walking, fence painting, building a fence, grocery shopping, help with their gardening and mail delivery. If you were not elderly or disabled, you had to pay triple the amounts for the D-rank mission. Speaking of missions, Naruto was given a lot of back pay once Shizune discovered he was getting paid significantly less than Sasuke and Sakura when he did D-rank missions during his time on Team 7. The fire daimyo was impressed that Tsunade managed to get all of that done in a few weeks and even asked if she would like his position, which she declined with zero hesitation. The Leaf Village was up on the rise and other villages sent spies to find out what was going on, but they were easily captured and sent back in a stasis scroll with a note saying not to do it again. Tsunade was also wary of Danzo since he hadn't been seen since the meeting she had with the elders, but she was prepared for anything. Naruto over the past few weeks trained a lot and even went on missions with other Chunin and sometimes Jonin. Of course none of them liked him due to his Jinchuriki status, but after he had to constantly save them on a mission, some of them changed their views about him. The only missions he was sent on were bandit camp eliminations and a parcel delivery to another village. He finally caught up with Asuma one time when they were assigned the same mission and Asuma gave him some tips on strengthening his wind chakra nature. Naruto was able to split a leaf easily, but Asuma told him to use his wind chakra to cut a rock in half and then try to cut a waterfall. The result of this was Naruto being able to cut a rock in half, but he was making slow progress on the waterfall part. He met with Yugao and Kurenai a few times when they were free and he honestly had fun. Kurenai did help him with his genjutsu and even tested her skills against him with his Hishigan activated and was honestly surprised none of her genjutsu worked on him. She really thought it was a joke since the Sharingan is able to fall under genjutsu, but it could easily counter it. She mistakenly told him that she tried to put Itachi Uchiha under a genjutsu and he just gave a blank look. He wanted to laugh at her, but then realized she could put him in an S-rank genjutsu so he chose to laugh at her once he got home. Yugao also trained him a bit when she couldn't even gave him his mother's sword. It was a 24-inch katana with an all-red blade and a black and red hilt with the uzumaki symbol on it. He struggled a bit with the sword, but Yugao told him that he just needed to get used to it first. She didn't teach him any jutsu since she wanted him to get used to the sword first. The results of the Chunin exams were also given out and Shikamaru was the only person to get promoted to Chunin. Right now he was walking through the hospital to see Sasuke. He didn't want to, but he kind of felt bad about him being in the hospital. "Hey, Sakura," Naruto said as he saw her about to enter Sasuke's room. "Naruto, where have you been?" Sakura asked. "I've been out in missions." Naruto said. "How's that possible? You weren't with us on our last mission. We honestly could have used the extra help. If you were there, Sasuke wouldn't be in the hospital." Sakura said. "I thought he was in here from when he ran into his brother." Naruto said. "No, he was released from that incident. He was hurt after we ran into a rogue ninja on our last mission. Sasuke won the fight after he kicked the guy off of the cliff, but he was badly injured." Sakura said. "I see," Naruto said and they entered the room. "Hey, Sasuke. Look, I brought you some apples. You do like them, right? I wonder where I put that knife I had before." Sakura said and started to look around for the knife. Naruto helped her find the knife and this caused them to start bickering between one another. As all of this was going on, Sasuke was too busy thinking about all the strength Naruto had acquired in a short amount of time. The 7 heavenly breaths, multiple chakra natures and jutsu to go along with them, the dojutsu and summoning jutsu. He also remembered how Naruto easily defeated Gaara twice in the same day, but he was barely able to scratch him. He even thought back to when Itachi told him he's not interested in him when they fought and how he was after Naruto instead. He was brought out of his thoughts when Sakura offered him an apple slice that she peeled for him and he slapped it out of her hand. Naruto noticed Sasuke glaring at him and knew what it was about, but he decided to play dumb. "What are you glaring at me for? She's the one who offered you the apple." Naruto said. "I want you to fight me. Fight me right now." Sasuke said. "We're in a hospital and you just got patched up. A fight with me should be the last thing you want." Naruto said. "Shut up and fight me." Sasuke said and activated his Sharingan. "Oh, the Sharingan. Trying to intimidate me, are you? Sorry, but I'd rather not beat up a cripple. Maybe when you're healed up we can fight and I'll humble you." Naruto said and Sasuke got in his face. "You said you wanted to fight me, right? Well, now you've got your chance." Sasuke said. "That was before. I'm looking past you now. I want to fight your brother. He's much stronger than me and you combined. You don't even pique my interest." Naruto said and that pissed Sasuke off. "I will be the one to fight Itachi, do you understand me? Fight me." Sasuke said. "No." Naruto said and turned to leave, but Sasuke threw the knife at Naruto's head and it was easily caught. "If you're in such a rush to get your ass kicked, then fine. Where are we gonna do this?" Naruto asked. "Follow me," Sasuke said. "Rooftop. Last chance, Sasuke." You can still go back inside to avoid suffering humiliation. Naruto said. An idiot like you has no business acting all high and mighty. Sasuke said. High and mighty? I think you've got me confused with yourself. You're the one who was handed everything you wanted ever since your family was killed. I'm as humble as you can get. I went from sleeping on the streets and in the forest for 2 years to becoming a Chunin. You are the most high and mighty person in this village and you act like that just because you're from the Uchiha clan. Naruto said. This village wouldn't be around if it weren't for the Uchiha clan. We're the most powerful clan ever. A clanless loser like you wouldn't know anything about that. Sasuke said. The most powerful clan ever and yet they were wiped out in a single night by one person. Clanless. I'll tell you something about my clan. They were wiped out before I was born and it took Kumo, Iwa and Kiri to wipe us out and yet their forces were reduced to less than half. Naruto said. Let's just do this. Sasuke said. Put on your headband and we will. I'll wait. Naruto said. Not to worry. I don't need that thing. There's no reason to put it on because you won't even be able to scratch my forehead. Sasuke said. Yet you have your Sharingan activated. If you were so sure that this would be as easy as you say, then you wouldn't have your Sharingan activated. Naruto said. You honestly think we're equals? Sasuke asked. No. You're beneath me and it's eating you up inside knowing that the loser and dead last has surpassed you quite easily. Naruto said. Enough talk. Sasuke said. Sasuke ran at Naruto and threw a punch at Naruto, but it was easily blocked. Naruto threw a feint right hook at Sasuke which he knew his Sharingan would follow and once Sasuke went to block the punch. Naruto kicked his legs from underneath him and kicked Sasuke into the fence that was on the roof. Sasuke quickly recovered and went for a spinning back kick, but Naruto caught it and swung him around. Sasuke planted his hands on the ground and twisted his body then kicked Naruto into the air. Once Naruto landed, Sasuke came running at him with a barrage of punches and kicks that were all avoided. Naruto decided to use an old trick he hasn't used since he started training with Jiraiya and created a sea of shadow clones. Sasuke managed to take out a few of the shadow clones until he was overwhelmed and they started to punch and kick him all over the roof. Sasuke jumped in the air and after a few hand signs he used the fireball jutsu and burned everything on the roof to get rid of the sea of shadow clones. He saw Naruto standing there unharmed and he created the Chidori in his hand as he was falling out of the air. Naruto just stood there and waited for him to get closer before he created the Rasengan in his hand. Sakura came running at them begging them to stop and once their jutsus nearly collided, Kakashi came in and threw both of them away with ease. The sound of metal being pierced was heard and the sound of metal exploding followed by water was heard as well. What are you two doing up here? That was a bit too far for a simple sparring match. Kakashi said. Naruto mastering the Rasengan already. How can he use that jutsu? Kakashi thought. Sasuke tore his hand out of the water container and water came pouring out at a rapid pace while Naruto's only had a small little stream like a water fountain which made him smirk. What were you thinking? Were you going to kill Naruto, Sasuke? What are you doing, giving yourself over to a sense of superiority? The size of the Chidori there wasn't one to be aimed at a comrade of the same village as you. Why such infantile behavior? Kakashi asked and it was Naruto who decided to respond. It's because I was once the dead last and now he's beneath me. That and his brother kicked his ass after he foolishly left the village without permission. Naruto said and Sasuke yelled trying to attack Naruto, but Naruto just kicked him off of the roof. That was uncalled for, Naruto. Kakashi said. He's your genin. You should have focused on fixing his attitude instead of personally training him every day. Naruto said. We'll talk about this later. We have a team meeting tomorrow anyway about your attendance. Kakashi said. That's because I'm not on Team 7 anymore. I was promoted to Chunin after I came back from my mission with Pervy Sage. Naruto said and walked away. I'm assuming it was you who taught him the Rasengan. Don't you think he's a little too young to be handling that jutsu? After all, he could have killed Sasuke had something gone wrong. I know you want to protect him from the Akatsuki, but to think you would teach him that jutsu. Kakashi said. You're one to talk. Teaching an unstable genin the Chidori knowing he's a flight risk and is shrouded in darkness. A bit hypocritical don't you think? It's obviously bad blood between them, but where did it come from? Jiraiya asked. Their relationship is like the one between you and Orochimaru in the past. Kakashi said. No. This is different. With me and Orochimaru it was always a one-sided rivalry. This one seems to be more about Sasuke being jealous that Naruto is able to close the gap between them with the slightest training and then surpass him when he's trained seriously. Naruto was seeking validation of his strength from everyone including Sasuke, but now that he's surpassed him, Sasuke can't stand the fact that the roles are reversed. Naruto is looking past him now and he's aiming to surpass you and eventually me. They both have something driving them on. Naruto wants to become Hokage and Sasuke's drive is his hatred for Itachi. Jiraiya said. Right. I'll leave Naruto to you and I'll deal with Sasuke myself. Kakashi said. Naruto. Naruto was walking through the village streets thinking about the fight. He really didn't want to fight Sasuke and it was proven since he didn't even put half the power into that Rasengan. The old him would have bragged about knowing an awesome jutsu that Sasuke didn't know, but he's different now. As he was walking, he noticed Jiraiya leaning up against a wooden fence waiting for him and he just sighed. Did Kakashi send you to yell at me? Naruto asked. No, but we need to talk. The Rasengan isn't a move you use against a comrade in the village. Jiraiya said. I know. Honestly I didn't want to use it against him. I don't know if you were there or not, but I didn't make the Rasengan until the very last second and it wasn't even at half its strength. Naruto said. Then why did you agree to fight him in the first place? Jiraiya asked. I wasn't going to fight him. I told him to heal up first and then walked away, but he threw a knife at the back of my head and that's what made me fight him. He got what he wanted and got his ass kicked in the process. Naruto said. Now that you've beaten him, what's next? Jiraiya asked. Honestly, it's like I told him. I'm aiming for bigger people to defeat. I mean the Akatsuki is after me and Orochimaru is still around. They're the ones I need to beat and not worry about some schoolyard rivalry. Naruto said. Then that means you'll have to start training extra hard. Since you've got control over your wind and water chakra natures now, you should start working on your ice Kekkei Genkai. Jiraiya said. I still haven't cut the waterfall yet and I can't get to the waterfall without Granny Tsunade being around since the only waterfall in the village is on the Hokage training grounds. Naruto said. Then you should have her take you there. Now that I think about it, since she can use the you-know-what, maybe you should ask her to help you with your Kekkei Genkai. Jiraiya said. She already said she'd help me with it, but I've been out on missions a lot so I haven't had time to try it out. Naruto said. I see. Well, I'll be out of the village for a few days, so use this time to train and rest up. I might bring you along on a mission with me when I get back, so you need to be prepared. Jiraiya said. You got it, pervy sage. Naruto said and vanished. Stop calling me that. Jiraiya yelled. Early morning, Hokage office. Now that Shikamaru is here, what did you need to see us for? Naruto asked. Sasuke Uchiha apparently slipped out of the village last night. I'm quite certain he's headed for the village in the sound. Tsunade said. He left. How is that possible? Shikamaru asked. It's not really shocking. I mean look at him. He craves power by any means and if he likes the power from the curse mark Orochimaru gave him, why not go to him? He's been a flight risk since his clan died. Naruto said. Well, I have a mission for the two of you. This will be Shikamaru's first mission as a Chunin, but I'll put him in charge. Naruto, I know you've been on quite a few missions as a Chunin, but you already have more experience leading a team and I want to test him out. Your mission is to find Sasuke Uchiha and bring him back to the village before he crosses the border. Assemble the best team you can and head out immediately. This is an A-rank mission. I would usually send a squad of Jonin, but we lack village security still and most Jonin are out on a mission. Dismissed. Tsunade said. Outside. Who will our teammates be? Shikamaru asked. You're the captain. You decide. Naruto said. We need a tracker. So Kiba and Akamaru are in. We'll need power, so I can grab Choji. You pretty much have all the other areas covered, but I have a feeling you'll be the one fighting Sasuke and we don't know how many or how powerful his traveling companions are. Shikamaru said. So you figured it out as well. Naruto said. Yeah. From what I can remember from the Chunin exams, the Sound Village was new and that means nobody knows where it's located. The only way he could get there is if he has somebody helping him get there. Shikamaru said. Good. I'm gonna go get 2 more people to help on this mission and I'll meet you at the gate in 5 minutes. Naruto said and vanished. Hyuga compound. Again. Hiashi Hyuga said as he was watching Hinata and Neji spar. Lord Hiashi, Naruto Uzumaki is here to see you. He says it is an emergency. A Hyuga servant said. Neji, Hinata. That is enough for today. Hiashi said. Yes sir. They said and bowed as Naruto entered the dojo. What brings you here, Naruto? I was unaware of any meetings today. Hiashi said. Sorry for showing up interrupted, but I need Neji and Hinata for an important mission. Naruto said. What rank is the mission? Neji asked. A ranked. Naruto said. What happened? Hiashi asked. Sasuke escaped the village and is heading towards Orochimaru. We're behind a few hours, but with 2 Byakugan users on our team, we should be able to handle this mission and whatever it throws at us. The team is me, Shikamaru, Choji, Kiba and Akamaru, Hinata and Neji. Naruto said. Very well. Hiashi said and nodded to them. When do we leave? Neji asked. Now. Naruto said and vanished. Main gates. Everybody understands the mission, right? Shikamaru asked. Find Sasuke and take out anyone who tried to stop us. Kiba said. That's right. Now, let's move out. Naruto said. Naruto, I'm supposed to be the leader, remember? Shikamaru asked. What's up with you acting like the boss, Naruto? Taking orders from somebody as lazy and unmotivated as Shikamaru doesn't sit well with me either, but still. Kiba said. None of you get to decide who's the leader. Shikamaru is the only one of us who is a Chunin. That means the elders of the village clearly believe he's got what it takes to be the leader. Choji said. I was promoted by the feudal lord himself and I've already been on missions as a leader. Now, we need to hurry up and move. Naruto said. We need a plan just in case they try to ambush us. Neji said. That's why I brought you and Hinata along. Your Byakugan along with hers and Kiba and Akamaru's nose tracking ability should give us time to prepare for an ambush. Naruto said. This is the formation. Kiba will be in the front since he's tracking Sasuke's scent. Choji and I will be on the left and right sides. Naruto, you'll bring up the rear while Neji and Hinata are in the middle with their Byakugan active keeping an eye of any kind of ambush. Move out. Shikamaru said and they were about to leave when Sakura came running up to them. Wait, Naruto, please bring Sasuke back home. I tried to stop him last night, but it wasn't enough. Sakura said. That is the mission so I already have to do that. Naruto said. Let's go. Shikamaru said as they left. Few hours later. As the retrieval team were on their way to grab Sasuke, they were unaware that the group Sasuke was with had to stop to prep him for something, so they were surprised when they caught up to them quicker than they thought. Eventually they had to split off and fight the enemy as there were 4 of them. Choji broke off to fight a guy named Jirobu, who seemed to be the powerhouse of the group. Kiba and Akamaru stopped to fight Sannin. Neji and Hinata broke off to fight somebody named Kitamaru who was basically a human spider fighting at long range giving him the advantage. Now, Naruto and Shikamaru were standing face to face with the final member holding the barrel containing Sasuke. So, your friends introduced themselves. What's your name? Naruto asked. Why the fuck should I tell you? The girl asked. It's common courtesy. I'd like to know the name of the opponent I'm going to defeat. Naruto said. Please, you don't stand a fucking chance against me, but I'll fucking humor your ass. The name is Tayuya. Tayuya said. Tayuya is a fair-skinned girl with a slender build. She has brown eyes that are accentuated by her eyelashes extending into the corners of her eyes. Tayuya's most distinctive feature in Naruto's opinion was her long, untamed, red hair that fell past her shoulders with long parted bangs framing either side of her face and one between her eyes. Nice to meet you, I guess. Now, I'd hate to hit such a pretty girl like yourself, so would you kindly hand over that giant barrel and let us leave? Naruto asked. Fuck you. I'm not handing over shit. You Konoha tree fuckers aren't getting a damn thing from me. Tayuya said. I hope you have plan B. Shikamaru said. I do. We fight her, but you'll have to handle her on your own. Naruto said. What? Why? Shikamaru asked. Because there's another person coming and he's a lot stronger than her. Naruto said and sure enough somebody else landed. What are you doing here, Kimimaro? Tayuya asked. Kimimaro has pale skin, Vivid green eyes, angular facial features, 2 scarlet dots on his forehead and shoulder-length white hair, which he wore divided down the middle on his head with 2 separate partings on either side of his face. You were taking too long, Tayuya. What happened to the other 3? Kimimaro asked. Why'd you come here? Your body shouldn't be able to function right now. Tayuya said. I'm not moving with the flesh anymore. It's mental power. Kimimaro said. Now you're cheating death. Tayuya said. I understand a little now, that feeling of being information that has escaped from the prison of the flesh. The feeling of experiencing a taste of Lord Orochimaru's dream. This vessel is an important piece of his dream. It has the flesh that Lord Orochimaru truly desires, but you guys were a bit too late. Kimimaro said. Great. Another freak to deal with. I can tell he's not an ordinary opponent. Shikamaru thought. I really don't have time for this. Naruto said. He leapt at Kimimaro, aiming a punch at his face, but Tayuya appeared in front of him and tried to punch him in the face. Naruto caught her fist quite easily, which shocked her, and then he kneed her in the stomach, cracking a few ribs before throwing her into a nearby tree, making a loud noise when she fell through a couple of branches. Kimimaro grabbed the barrel and landed next to Tayuya as she stood up. The only reason I won't kill you right now is because you have a mission to complete, and my mission is to deliver that to Lord Orochimaru. Kimimaro said. Didn't you say it was too late for that? Tayuya asked. I told you that's the body Lord Orochimaru truly desires. Kimimaro said. The next vessel, huh? Tayuya asked. Exactly, and this is the only thing I can do at the present time. I leave those 2 pieces of garbage to you. Kimimaro said and left with the barrel. Damn it. People just love to make my missions harder than they need to be. Naruto said. Come on already, fuckers. Tayuya said. Go ahead. I can handle her. Shikamaru said, and Naruto nodded, then vanished. He's fast. Tayuya thought and looked around for him. Don't worry. It's just the 2 of us now. Shikamaru said. You seem pretty fucking confident that you can beat me. Don't need your boyfriend to fight your battles for you. After I'm done with you, I'll be going after him next. Tayuya said. You won't stand a chance against him. He didn't even try when he blocked your punch and kicked you away. I could tell you put quite the amount of power in that punch. Shikamaru said. What's his name? Tayuya asked. Naruto. Shikamaru said. He's right. Orochimaru told us about him, and to be careful. He was able to knock Kabuto out once and then nearly killed him. Tayuya thought. I'll be sure to leave his body next yours. Tayuya said and pulled out a flute. Naruto. I'm getting really tired of chasing after somebody I don't even like. Just leave the barrel and you can keep the rest of whatever health you have left. Naruto said as he landed in front of Kimimaro. You foolishly came alone. How do you want me to kill you? Kimimaro asked. I don't know. How about you fight me and see for yourself? Naruto asked. It's bad to underestimate your opponent. Kimimaro said. I'm not underestimating you. I can already tell you're powerful. What does Orochimaru want Sasuke for anyway? Naruto asked. Lord Orochimaru has already obtained his immortality jutsu. However, a long period of time is necessary to get every jutsu and obtain everything in the world. Just because he is immortal doesn't mean his flesh is being maintained forever. Before his body decays, a strong new flesh will be made into a vessel for his soul. Kimimaro said. So, he basically wants Sasuke for his body is what you're telling me? Naruto said. Yes, that's right. Kimimaro said. The fact that I'm the only one who thinks something is wrong with this is weird. Naruto thought. I suppose it's time to get serious. Kimimaro said and created a weapon made from bone. Bones. I see. You possess the dead bone pulse Kekkei Genkei. Naruto said. Very observant. Kimimaro said. I must be careful. Kabuto warned me about him and how he was able to best him on 2 separate occasions. That and he was able to defeat a tailed beast at its full power. I can easily tell he has a lot more power and skill than his partner fighting Tayuya right now. In order to defeat him, I may have to use my curse mark. Kimimaro thought. Kimimaro rushed at Naruto with his bone weapon and Naruto just dodged every swipe and stab move Kimimaro threw at him. Naruto pulled out some kunai and channeled fire chakra into one of them while the other was coated in wind chakra. Naruto and Kimimaro started to trade blows at a rapid pace that would be too fast for anybody not used to high speeds. When they separated, Naruto had a few cuts and bruises while Kimimaro was covered in what appeared to be scorch marks. Kimimaro was surprised that Naruto was able to do damage to him. He was told Naruto was good, but he didn't think Naruto would do this much damage to him and not this early into the fight. Your body twitched. Naruto said. What was that? Kimimaro asked. You twitched. That means you're nervous. You have a good poker face, but growing up on the streets like I did causes you to learn how to read people's body movements. You're nervous because you weren't expecting me to be as good as I am. You aren't properly prepared for this fight. Given your clan's history, you fight until you can't fight anymore. I know how you fight now just from this first little scuffle. Naruto said. How exactly do I fight? Kimimaro asked. Why should I tell you? Naruto asked. If you don't then I'll kill you slowly and painfully. Kimimaro said. No you won't. You don't have much time to live based on your breathing patterns. You're already winded and we haven't even begun fighting seriously. You're trying to finish this mission as quickly as possible to do one last good deed in the eyes of Orochimaru. Now that you've revealed yourself to have a Kekkei Genkai, I can handle you however. As I please. Naruto said. Kimimaro rushed at Naruto with new speeds, but Naruto ducked and gave him a quick uppercut followed by a few quick punches around his body. Kimimaro tried to move his left arm, but it wouldn't budge so Naruto took advantage of this and hit him with a point-blank fireball jutsu. Kimimaro grunted in pain as he wasn't quick enough to fully block the attack with his bones. When the smoke cleared, Kimimaro was standing there with his curse mark activated. Kimimaro had marks spread across his entire body and contorting in parallel lines. So, that's your curse mark. Naruto said. Prepare to die. Kimimaro said. Before anybody could move, the barrel containing Sasuke started to smoke before it eventually exploded and caused a cloud of smoke to surround the area. Once the smoke cleared, Sasuke was standing there with longer hair and his skin was gray. Soon after Naruto saw him, Sasuke's hair shrunk back down to normal and his skin started to clear up. Naruto figured it was something to do with the curse mark and Kimimaro retracted his own curse mark. Are you going to make this more difficult by running away? Naruto asked and then Sasuke started to laugh like a maniac before he jumped away. Of course you are. Naruto said. It seems my mission will be over faster than I thought. Kimimaro said, as he appeared next to Naruto and then he was kicked away. Who are you? Kimimaro asked. Konoha's rejuvenated handsome devil, Rock Lee. Lee said. What about your body, bushy brow? Naruto asked. Do not worry about me, Naruto. Go get Sasuke. Lee said. You sure? Naruto asked. Please leave this to me. I can take care of things here. Rock Lee said. This one's strong as well. Good. Kimimaro thought. Alright. This guy uses his bones to attack. When you're done, go back to the village and get checked out. Naruto said and vanished. Naruto. As he was running through the forest and hopping through the trees, Naruto felt Sasuke get closer to a specific area in the Land of Fire and found it ironic that he'd have to fight him there. He wasn't far behind Sasuke, but he decided to take his time and recover a bit from his fight with Kimimaro. They didn't fight much, but they both got some good hits in on each other. He finally caught up to Sasuke after another 10 minutes of running through the forest and they stopped at the Valley of End. Yo, Naruto said. Well, look who decided to show up. The hopeless little loser. Sasuke said. The same hopeless little loser that kicked your ass when you challenged him. Drop the attitude and get your ass back to the leaf. Today was supposed to be the start of my 2 weeks vacation. Naruto said. I'm done playing ninja with you children in the Leaf Village. Sasuke said. Children, do you realize we're all the same age? Naruto asked. Compared to me and my power you're all children. I'm going to Orochimaru now and I'm not coming back to that joke of a village. Sasuke said. It's like you're intentionally forgetting the rooftop fight. Naruto said. That was a fluke. I'm glad you came here actually. Now we can settle things once and for all between us. It's time to put you in your place. Sasuke said. Sasuke created his Chidori right from the start and ran at Naruto with his full speed. Naruto stood there patiently waiting for him and then at the moment he created a Rasengan then slammed it into Sasuke's Chidori. Both of them were sent flying backwards, but Naruto landed quite easily and stood on the water while Sasuke barely managed to correct himself in the air. Sasuke let a smirk cross his face and then his curse mark activated and marks spread across his body. You know what they say, Naruto. Top-class shinobi should be able to read each other's hearts simply by an exchange of fists. Even without saying anything, you've always been naive. Don't let this newfound strength stir you from reality that I'll always be better than you. Sasuke said and went through hand signs. Fire style, Phoenix Flower Jutsu. Sasuke spit multiple small fireballs at Naruto, who didn't even look worried since he could easily counter the jutsu. He decided to humor Sasuke and jumped into the air since he knew that's what Sasuke wanted. Naruto smirked when Sasuke appeared in front of him and threw a punch, but it was caught by Naruto. Sasuke didn't have time to recover because he was kicked in the back of the head by a shadow clone of Naruto that he didn't even notice was made. Naruto used the water dragon jutsu on Sasuke and he was sent crashing into the wall of the valley. Naruto threw kunai at Sasuke coated in wind chakra and they each stuck through his clothes, pinning him to the wall. Naruto appeared in front of Sasuke and just started raining down punches on him with no remorse. The punches were so fast that it forced Sasuke's Sharingan to mature and gain 3 tomo in each eye. Naruto activated his Hishigan just in case Sasuke tried to use a genjutsu on him. The punches kept coming and Sasuke was nearly out of it until his curse mark activated again. The amount of chakra released from the curse mark was enough to send Naruto flying back and help get Sasuke out of the wall. The smoke cleared and Sasuke was completely different from a few seconds ago. When Sasuke activated the second level of the curse seal, his skin turned dark gray and his hair grew then turned dark blue. His eyes also turned dark gray, but his Sharingan remained active. Additionally, he grew webbed claw-shaped wings from his back which he could use to fly and glide, and a dark, star-shaped mark appeared across the bridge of his nose. That's new, Naruto said. Sasuke appeared in front of Naruto, who managed to catch his punch with ease, and that confused Sasuke since he was more powerful than Naruto at this moment, or so he thought. Naruto and Sasuke started to trade punches and kicks around the valley, and thanks to Sasuke's newly matured Sharingan he was able to counter some of Naruto's moves and got some good attacks in. When Naruto and Sasuke separated, Naruto got into a stance that Sasuke was familiar with and braced himself for the onslaught that was about to come. 7 heavenly breaths, first activation. Second activation. Third activation. After Naruto activated his first 3 steps of the 7 heavenly breaths, he vanished from Sasuke's eyesight and he was barely able to duck out of the way from the kick aimed at his head. Naruto didn't give him time to recover as he hit him with a powerful great breakthrough that sent Sasuke crashing into the wall and made him cough up blood. The jutsu was enhanced because Naruto released his third activation, so the air he had in his lungs was used to boost the power of the jutsu. Sasuke pulled himself from the wall and moved out of the way as Naruto came crashing down at him. Sasuke tried to use a genjutsu on Naruto, but Naruto wasn't making eye contact with him and it failed. Sasuke used the fireball jutsu on Naruto, who countered it with a ripping torrent and created a giant steam cloud. Sasuke was at a disadvantage since he couldn't see and wasn't a sensor. His Sharingan couldn't track Naruto's chakra signature because the steam cloud was filled with chakra. Sasuke tried to fly out of the steam cloud, but his foot was grabbed and he was slammed down to the ground. He felt a fist hit him in the gut and then a heel to the gut which broke a couple of ribs. He tried his hardest to locate Naruto, but he was well hidden. Sasuke went to fly again, but when he landed on the ground, the wings in his back were severely damaged. Rising Moon Barrage. Naruto kicked Sasuke up into the air, but not high enough for him to leave the steam cloud. Naruto then used powerful kicks and punches on Sasuke to keep him dazed. The fury of strikes ended with a bone-crushing axe kick that knocked Sasuke back onto the ground. As Sasuke was laying on the ground dazed and in pain, Naruto jumped high into the air and prepared to finish off his attack. Naruto gathered wind chakra around his fist as he was falling towards Sasuke and hit him with a powerful whirlwind fist. The blow was powerful enough to create a giant crater and knock Sasuke out of his second stage of the curse mark as well as blow away the steam cloud. Naruto looked at Sasuke, who was unconscious, but still breathing, and released the 2 remaining activations he had. He fell down on both knees and was breathing heavily. He still needed to work on his Rising Moon Barrage since he only used it once and it wasn't while he was using the 7 heavenly breaths technique. He finally stood up and when he went to grab Sasuke, somebody kicked him away into the wall. Sorry, Naruto. Orochimaru needs Sasuke for something important. Kabuto said and grabbed Sasuke then vanished. Son of a bitch. Naruto said and pulled himself out of the wall. Naruto. A voice said and when he looked up it was Kakashi. Yeah, Naruto asked. What happened? Where's Sasuke at? Kakashi asked. Had him beaten when I went to grab him. Kabuto showed up and kicked me into the wall before he grabbed Sasuke then left. Naruto said. We can track him. He couldn't have gotten that far. Kakashi said. Kabuto was able to avoid a squad of Jonin sent to grab him during the Chunin exam finals and I heard he even escaped you at the hospital. He's long gone by now and we'd be heading into unknown territory. Let's just head back so I can give my report. Naruto said. Tsunade's office. So you failed, huh? Tsunade asked. Yeah, Naruto said. What happened? Tsunade asked. I fought Sasuke at the Valley of End and when I was about to grab him to bring him back, Kabuto showed up. He kicked me into the wall, grabbed Sasuke and quickly left. Naruto said. Kakashi tells me you refused to go after them, why? Tsunade asked. Kabuto is slippery. That and I would have been heading into unknown territory blind. It was best that I came back to the village and reported to you. Naruto said. Alright, I'll give you your 2 weeks vacation you put in for. I haven't heard from Jiraiya yet so you can just rest or train until your vacation is over. Tsunade said. Thanks. How's everyone else doing? Naruto asked. Choji had a heart attack from the food pills he took during the fight he had, but he's stable now. Kiba had a stab wound and Akamaru is being treated by the Inuzuka clan. Neji suffered a severe wound close to the heart and severe chakra exhaustion, but he's in recovery. Hinata suffered a dislocated shoulder, some torn ligaments and the same wound as Neji, but hers was through the stomach. She'll be fine though. Shikamaru has a broken finger, but he's more down about his teammates being injured on the mission. I gave him some time off to clear his head. Tsunade said. Alright. Well, I'll be around the forest. Naruto said and left. Forest. Naruto was walking around the forest as he said he was going to do and came across the area Shikamaru was fighting at. The trees were destroyed and he knew Shikamaru didn't do this. He looked at the way the trees were cut and noticed it was wind chakra. The only person that could do something on this wide of a scale is Tamari and he figured she must have come to help him. He walked around some more until he came across a familiar redhead trapped underneath some trees. He walked over to her and checked. For a pulse. She was still alive so he decided to help her out. He created some shadow clones and they channeled wind chakra into the trees to cut them. Halfway through the process, Tayuya woke up and screamed. What the fuck are you doing? Tayuya yelled. I'm saving your life. Naruto said and kept moving the trees. Why? Tayuya asked. Well, you're alive and I couldn't just leave you here. Naruto said. Fucking idiot. How do you know I won't kill you once I'm free? Tayuya asked. The moment you try to move you won't get very far. Naruto said. What the fuck does that mean? Tayuya asked. Your legs are trapped underneath these trees. You can't feel it because the nerves are probably damaged. I'll take you to my village to get you healed. Naruto said. Fuck that shit. I'd rather fucking die. You'll just turn me in and have me tortured before killing me. Tayuya said. No I won't. I'm taking you to the Hokage. She's the best healer in the world. I'm pretty close to her so I can get you healed and possibly a new home in the village. Naruto said. I don't fucking believe you needle dick. Tayuya said. First off my dick is way bigger than a needle thank you very much. Secondly, the Hokage is my godmother. I have some pull in the village although it's not much. Naruto said as he removed the final tree. Fucking hell. My legs look like fucking shit. Tayuya said and Naruto picked her up. Come on. I'll get you some food as well. Naruto said. What's the catch? Tayuya asked. No catch. All you have to do is tell us what you know about Orochimaru, the Sound Village and in return, I can try to get you a new life in Konoha. Naruto said. What do you mean, new life? Tayuya asked. Simple. You can either become a regular civilian or after a probationary period, you can become a ninja. Naruto said. This sounds too good to be true. You're hiding something. Tayuya said. Only problem is the curse mark you have. Naruto said. Of fucking course. This fucking thing is stuck with me forever. Tayuya said. Not really. I should be able to get rid of it. Somebody in my village has one as well and I've been working on removing it. Naruto said. Does this new life come with more than one meal a day, a hot shower and my own room? Tayuya asked. Yeah, do we have a deal? Naruto asked. Hell fucking yeah we do. Tayuya said. Good. Naruto said. Why are you being so fucking nice to me? Tayuya asked. Let's just say I have a thing for cute girls with red hair. Naruto said and Tayuya had to hide her blush. Watch your hands, you fucking pervert. Tayuya said. I'm not even touching you inappropriately. Naruto said. Bull fucking shit. I can feel your hands trying to touch my ass and grab my side boob. Tayuya said and Naruto just sighed. We could have been back in the village by now, but you won't shut the fuck up with your complaining. Naruto said and put her down. Who the fuck do you think you're talking to? Tayuya asked. I'm talking to an ungrateful fucking cripple. I'm trying to help your sorry ass and all you want to do is complain. Just shut the fuck up until we get there and then you can talk. I swear if you say one more word I will leave you here to be eaten by forest animals. I may be nice, but do not piss me off. Naruto said. His eyes turned red from the nine tails chakra flowing through his body. Tayuya was honestly scared and shocked at the moment since nobody has ever spoken to her like that and she didn't know what that red chakra was. She nodded and Naruto put her on his back as he started hopping through the trees. Along the way he could hear Tayuya whimpering in pain and he decided to quickly go back to Tsunade's office by using a quick number of Shunshin. Tsunade's office. Granny Tsunade, I need your help. Naruto said as he just walked into the office. I'm in the middle of a meeting. Tsunade said. This is important. Naruto said as he placed Tayuya on the couch. Who's the girl? Kaharu asked. Yes. I don't think I've seen her around the village before. Homura said. This is Tayuya and she was part of the group that was sent to retrieve Sasuke for Orochimaru. Naruto said. So you brought us a prisoner? Kaharu asked. Not exactly. Naruto said and Tsunade felt a headache coming. Naruto, what did you do? Tsunade asked. I kind of told her that if she gives us information, you'd heal her legs and I'll remove the curse mark. Also I might have said you'll let her start a new life as a ninja or civilian for Konoha. Naruto said and Tsunade just punched him through the roof. Holy shit. Look at how big your fucking tits are. How'd you fucking get them like that? Tayuya asked. Quite the mouth she has on her. Homura said. Yes. Shall we continue this meeting another time, Lady Tsunade? Kaharu asked. Actually, the meeting was about Orochimaru. I think Naruto gave us something good. Tsunade said. When will fuckface come down from that? Tayuya asked. Huh. He should have been down by now. Tsunade said and then Naruto walked through the door with bags filled with ramen. Where the fuck did you go? Tayuya asked. To find you some manners. Naruto said. Fuck you. I fucking have manners. Tayuya said. Whatever. So, did she talk yet? Naruto asked. We were about to start actually. Tsunade said and Naruto nodded as he gave Tayuya a bowl of ramen. So, Tayuya, what can you tell us about Orochimaru? Homura asked. That he's a pedophile. Tayuya said and Naruto snickered. What makes you say that? Kaharu asked. He's always going after little boys for their bodies. I mean that's a giant red flag right fucking there. Tayuya said. What does he want their bodies for? Tsunade asked. His immortality jutsu. Tayuya said and slurped up some noodles. His immortality jutsu. Tsunade asked. Yeah. It's some kind of fucking jutsu where he switches bodies once every 3 years. It's not really an immortality jutsu since if he doesn't have a body after 3 years then he'll fucking die. The shit is weird. Tayuya said. What can you tell us about the Sound Village? Tsunade asked. The Sound Village is not really a village, but a network of laboratories composed of various hideouts and bases scattered throughout the land of Sound and various other countries. The fucker was so damn paranoid about being found that it's almost impossible to track him. We never stayed at the same base for long, so it made us constantly go on the move. Tayuya said. Where are some bases? Tsunade asked. Kusa, the southern hideout which is somewhere off the coast of the Land of Waves, the northern and eastern hideouts which I've never been to so I can't tell you where they are. Kabuto has his own little island to jerk off some other people he wants to experiment on and then there's a hideout on the Demon Island of the Land of Sea. There could be more, but I don't fucking know where they are. What is this shit that I'm eating? It's fucking delicious. Tayuya said. Do you know anything else about his experiments? Koharu asked. You know I'm doing an awful lot of fucking talking, but my legs aren't getting fucking healed. I'm not saying shit else until my legs get fucking fixed. Tayuya said. What do you two think? Should I heal her legs now or just give her to Anko and Ibiki? Tsunade asked. She's given us quite the information and it's much more than we expected. Homura said. Yes, I believe she has earned the right to have her legs healed. Koharu said and Tsunade nodded. Now, tell us more. Tsunade said and started to mend the bones in Tayuya's legs, while removing the wood chunks. He has a ton of shit that he did. Stealing kids from the orphanage, kidnapping shinobi, killing the cage, and he was talking one time about giving somebody an arm made completely from Hashirama Senju's DNA. I don't know who would want a dead person's DNA, but whoever it is must be one sick fucker. Tayuya said. Does he have any bases in the Land of Fire? Tsunade asked. I thought he did, but Kabuto said it was destroyed by the third Hokage. Actually, that old fucker should have told you about a base of his. Tayuya said and Tsunade finished her legs. Well, he didn't. Now, your legs are healed, but you need to stay off of them for 2 weeks and soak in hot water for about 45 minutes every day to help with the pain you'll feel from the blood vessels opening back up. Tsunade said. So I can stay? Tayuya asked. Yes. I'm guessing you want to become a shinobi, so I'll have to place you on a 3-month probation and when your caretaker is not here I'll have an Anbu watch over you. Tsunade said. Caretaker? You've got to be fucking kidding me. Tayuya said. I'm not. Naruto will be the one taking care of you. Tsunade said. What? I'm not spending my 2 weeks vacation taking care of her. Naruto said. Think of it as a paid vacation then. I'll stop by twice a week to check on you and make sure everything is done with. Tsunade said. What about this fucking curse mark? Tayuya asked. Give me a few more days and I'll have the removal process ready. Naruto said. You better not be fucking lying to me or I'll cut your dick off and shove it up your ass. Tayuya said. You know, if you stop cursing so much I'm sure your mouth could be used for something better. Naruto said and walked out leaving a stunned Tayuya with a huge blush on her face. What the fuck did you just say to me? Get back here so I can fucking kill you. You limp needle dick blonde haired fucker. Tayuya yelled. It's like Kushina and Minato all over again. Koharu said as she was listening to Tayuya rant. Indeed. The only difference is I don't think Minato would have the guts to say something like that to Kushina. Homura said. I give it a few weeks before they realize they like each other. Tsunade said. I don't know. Is it wise for them to fall in love? Their tempers can clash and I know Naruto has mellowed out, but his temper is still there. Homura said. They'll be fine. Tayuya. Tsunade said. What? Tayuya yelled. I'm taking you to Naruto's apartment. I have a key to get in and you can wait for him to get back. Tsunade said. Where'd he go? Tayuya asked. Either to train or find his sensei that's most likely hiding somewhere in the village. Tsunade said and Tayuya nodded. So, how'd you get your tits to look like that? Tayuya asked as Tsunade placed her in a wheelchair. Why? Are you trying to impress somebody? Tsunade asked and smirked when Tayuya blushed. No. Who the fuck would I have to impress? I just want my tits to look like that. Tayuya said. I'll tell you the secret along the way to Naruto's apartment. Tsunade said. Naruto. Naruto was walking through the village looking for Jiraiya since he knew he was in the village somewhere. He felt Jiraiya's chakra in the village, but he couldn't pinpoint exactly where he was. He suddenly remembered who he's looking for and vanished. He arrived at the hot springs and sure enough Jiraiya was up in a tree with a telescope and blood coming from his nose. Pervy sage, don't you ever get tired of peeping on women knowing they'll find you and beat you? Naruto asked. Nope. So, what brings you here? Jiraiya asked. I don't know if you've heard, but Sasuke left the village. Naruto said. Did you stop him? Jiraiya asked. Yeah, but then Kabuto showed and took Sasuke. As soon as I was about to grab him. Naruto said. What are your thoughts on it? Jiraiya asked. Sasuke made his own decision. He's a rogue ninja and depending on what he's listed as in the bingo book is how I'll treat him if we ever cross paths again. I'm not going to chase after him like some lost puppy. I've got bigger things to worry about like the Akatsuki. Naruto said. That's right. Now, in a few months I'm going to be taking you away from the village. Jiraiya said. For what? Naruto asked. A training trip. We'll be gone for 2.5 years where I'll teach you everything I know. I'll train you to the point where you'd come back nearly as strong as me. Before we leave though, I'm going to train you in using the Nine Tails chakra now. I won't make it your go-to, just something you have in your back pocket as a last resort. Jiraiya said. When do we start training? Naruto asked. I understand you're on vacation now and I don't have anything to do, so I'll train you over the next 2 weeks on the Nine Tails chakra. What that means is I'll have you channel as much chakra you possibly can and then we'll spar while you're using the Nine Tails chakra. Jiraiya said. Alright, I'm heading home then. Naruto said. See ya. I've got to get back to my research. Jiraiya said and Naruto sighed. Of course. There's a pervert in the tree peeping on the women's bathhouse. Naruto yelled and vanished. Damn it kid. Jiraiya said. Naruto's apartment. Why are you in my apartment? Naruto asked. The big tit cage told me I'll be staying here. This place isn't half bad from the looks of the outside. I've got my own room, fresh food and hot water. Now, make me something to eat. Tayuya said. No. I need to take a shower first and you also need to wash up. You smell like you haven't bathed in a while. Naruto said. I haven't. The baths in the Sound Village barely worked and everyone had to share. I'd rather stink than share a shower with a bunch of creeps trying to cop a feel on me. Tayuya said. If it was that bad, then why'd you stay? Naruto asked. I had nowhere to fucking go. He gave me shelter after he found me living on the streets. In a way I felt like I owed him my life. I did try to leave before, but he branded me with the curse mark so I was stuck there. This is like a luxury to me and I know I come off as a tough bitch, but that's all I know. It's how I had to grow up and protect myself in Sound. I really do appreciate what you did for me, but I'm not sure how I'm supposed to fucking express it. Tayuya said and didn't know she was crying, so she froze when Naruto gave her a hug. You can stay here as long as you want. Sorry about insulting you earlier. I also grew up on the streets for 2 years, so I know how you feel. Naruto said and Tayuya nodded as she hugged him tighter. You tell anybody that I was emotional and I'll chop your dick off. Tayuya said and they broke the hug. It's our little secret. Naruto said and wiped her tears away. I should kick your fucking ass. You got me all emotional and shit. Tayuya said and chuckled. Like I said, it's our little secret. Now, I'll let you use the bathroom first so I can get dinner started. I'll have Shizune come over tomorrow so she can get your measurements for clothes. Naruto said. He walked away and left Tayuya alone on the couch. She was grateful for Naruto saving her life and she owed him, but she didn't know how to repay him. She's a tough chick, but he's already managed to make her cry and it wasn't on purpose. Then there's the food. She didn't eat much in the Sound Village, so far the food she's had was great. Maybe her living here would be better than she thought and maybe meeting Naruto was the best thing for her. She had to admit, he wasn't bad looking. And she'd go as far as to say that he's the cutest boy she's ever seen. The way his eyes look and the way he smiles at her just makes her feel special. Oh fuck. Tayuya said she's starting to fall for Naruto Uzumaki and she's falling for him hard. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have any fanfictions you would like to see on the channel leave them in the description and have a great day.